Mark, Mark, you're still dead. I got it good. Fresh. Okay, now sneak up. Squeak. Creak. That didn't work. Okay. Uglier than I remember. Anyway, if I know Mark, the one thing I know he hates more than being dead is his food going to waste. To the kitchen. Okay. Got cupboards, got the fridge. Squeak. Oh. Hey, Mark. Ow! Whoa. What's that for?
What are you doing in my kitchen? Opening my fridge.
Well, you see, you're dead, and I mean,
Not anymore.
but how? How?
This is my reliquary.
Oh, neat. That's pretty poggers, my guy.
Summon me.
Yeah.
You can't have anything.
But okay, fine.
Yeah, you can have what's left of this barbecue sauce from 2022.
Salty. Anyway, sorry that 8-Ball killed you and everything.
Didn't you tell him to kill me?
I mean, I did. I thought it was just gonna be funny. But then he actually did it. He's an 8-Ball. I found in the void. I mean, how was I supposed to know he could do that?
You brought a void being back to your plane. Into your house, no less.
Yeah. Yeah?
It's kind of on you. It's not supposed to be here.
I mean, he's never done any of that before. I mean, I've never told him to exactly kill someone.
That's what I thought.
But, I mean, to be fair, he didn't actually... I did tell him to kill you, and then... Yeah.
Then he...
Yeah, you had a second... You had last breath, so, I mean, I told him to do it again because I was just scared if, like, you didn't actually die, what he would do at that point. I mean, he's been fine in the last month that you've been dead, but, yeah.
You brought a void plane oracle home.
Yeah, I did.
You're using it as a death robot.
No, I'm not using it as a death robot. I'm asking him questions every so often. He just so happens to kill people. Is that so wrong? Actually, he just killed you. Maybe he just doesn't like you.
I wonder how he'd feel if I compared him to our world's Alexa.
Oh, I don't know if you do that. I don't know about that.
Ponder.
Questions for later. Anyway, Mark, we got a Stalk in the morning, so I'm just coming over to revive you. Sleeping Beauty, you know.
Finally, we can get that October episode out.
Yeah. Mark, it's February.
Oh.
It's Valentine's Day.
Oh.
Well, it will be. In the morning. I mean, morning.
I can't wait to be alone again.
Yeah. Yeah. So I guess I'll see you in the morning.
Sure.
All right.
Yes.
I'll go out the way I came in.
How did you get in here? How do I feel a draft?
Oh.
Get back
here! How do you get in his bed?
What? Who the fuck are you?
I'm out. Jumped through window.
He is dead.
You gonna eat that one?
I keep going. Oh, I have too much wood, not enough sticks. Oh, I have too much sticks, not enough wood.
Yeah. Mark's playing Moose Miners.
Oh, we started.
Yeah. I started before you left.
72. Oh, I don't want to spend that.
You don't want to spend $72,000.
$72 trillion.
$72 trillion.
I
That's.
currently have $171 trillion.
But Mark, that's little to nothing. That's just like a javelin missile
Ugh, you're right. I haven't
that we
made it to
shoot
military
80
spending.
times in a training session.
We're training with the old version because they'll go bad in 4 years. We have to get rid of them. Either we need to sell them, hopefully someone's in a war and we can give them away, or we have to train.
Hmm.
And if they're not compatible, the training's not compatible to the next model, it's a waste to do so.
Yeah.
There was a really big you know how some people buy computers and they upgrade parts every year or 2 years,
Maybe.
and they just swap out the newer model.
Maybe. I'm looking at my computer that it looks horrible.
Not you.
I need a bit. Like the side panels don't fit on it because the cables stick out and my graphics card sticks out of the case.
Oh yeah, my panel does not go on it anymore. The cooler is a whole quarter-inch past the case. It's still in the way of a fan, so it's a whole inch too big. Because there's a side fan on that panel.
If I took all the cables off of everything, the panels might fit. However, it's not a Wi-Fi computer, so it can't do that.
This is my Wi-Fi. Imagine all the components being Wi-Fi, and then you hang them on the wall like paintings.
Yeah.
And you're just running cables to like the outlet.
Yeah. The single 2-prong outlet in my room that is on the
Yes.
opposite corner of my room because my house was made in 1920 or something.
1472.
No.
So you got like an extension cable because I'm also running an extension cable.
I have a
I
have a heavy duty extension cable that is 3-prong because everything here is 3-prong, and then it goes to a 3 to 2-prong adapter.
You know, I thought the outlet behind me was fried, but it's currently plugged into the router, so clearly it's working.
I mean, you could just be siphoning the internet off of someone else, and that's why your internet's bad.
Yes. You know, I haven't thought to check who I'm getting it from.
Exactly. You scavenger mindset, bastard man.
Yes, except I'm paying for internet every month and somehow being throttled whilst also stealing from someone else instead. So I'm not even using my own internet.
Correct. The noise gate isn't even working on my thing here. Filters, noise gate. Put that up.
Noise gate. I don't know about this new scandal.
Hold 10 minutes.
There we go. Got some fucking wood
it's still.
Jesus.
It's working for the
Anymore.
what you call it thing. Avatar. I'll call it that. But it's not working for the. It's still picking up audio, even though I'm not talking.
Oh.
Property. No,
That's
not
bad.
properties.
Is it just for the animation or is it for the audio?
Just for the audio. The animation's good, but.
Oh.
Yeah. Open
Oh,
threshold, put
my
it down and
niece have
close.
3 wizard hats now.
Oh, your Mies. Oh, I see.
Just thought I'd
Oh,
let
there
you
we
know.
go. It turns off now. Yeah, I guess it
Gonna
works.
swing from a chandelier. From a chandelier.
I picked that up from you, I'm pretty sure.
It's in my head.
I think of that every so often.
Can't get it to go away.
Not that I
can't get
should,
it to
but
go
I
away.
do.
There's a lot of emotion in those lines.
Yeah.
And I've seen a lot
You
of
feel
funniness
every
with that.
single one of them. Oh.
Every one of those emotions. That's right. I
So-
think
So I'm eating a bowl of instant oatmeal that came out of a pouch today for
how
breakfast.
long did it take to make it?
I don't really like oatmeal that much, but
How long did it take to make it?
about a minute.
It's not very instant.
Oh.
It's about a minute actually.
But in the grand scheme of things,
Well, yeah, you know what? Some would say, in the grand scheme of things, human lifetime has been instant since the dawn of our history or even life. But you know what?
I mean,
You
who's
know
to
what?
say
That's
10...
fucking oatmeal right there.
I meant...
Now, if it was 30 seconds, I feel like we're getting somewhere.
I imagine you going on like a TED talk for like 2 hours on about one instance is and like the philosophy of that, and then at the end going, so why the fuck do we call
Is this
instant oatmeal and instant ramen instant when it takes a minute
You see,
of
instant
my
coffee?
life?
Instant coffee. Standard ounce mug. 30 seconds in the microwave. As long as you're not using cold water. Now that, we're getting somewhere. We're talking about instant here. I have things to do. 2 minutes for oatmeal is insane.
I should also put out that it's a minute in the microwave and then 2 minutes sitting.
yeah. I didn't even think about that. How you're like, damn, wow, the burrito cooks in 3 minutes. That's crazy. 3 minutes and my meal's ready. You have to wait 15 minutes so it doesn't absolutely remove your tongue once you take a bite.
Reminds me of the teacher
Cooling
at the high
time
school.
counts as cooking time.
Reminds me of the teacher at the high school that, like every 3 days she would bring a Hot Pocket in and burn her mouth, and then for the next 2 days eat salad, and then on the third day, bring a Hot Pocket. Oh boy, it's Wednesday!
What? I love this person, I think. This is funny.
Right.
I don't know who this is.
Uh,
Oh boy, it's Wednesday. It's Hot Pocket Day. And then I burnt my mouth so I can now suffer through the salad. You know the real solution is to make a salad out of not iceberg lettuce. There's your real solution. Now I'm not a lettuce boy. I'm not a salad boy. I've had some salads.
It's pizza salad.
I do not want to commit the brain power to decide that question. But on surface level, I'm going to go ahead and say no, since everything's affixed to a surface.
It has vegetables as, like, the sauce. As
Are you a rock? You have a lot of metal in you!
Thank you. But as onion, tomato, and, like, garlic in the sauce, you have cheese, which salads can have cheese. You have some meat. Salads can have meat. And you have croutons, which is the crust.
Well, okay. But they are, if you will, structurally applied in a rather different way that is not only structurally, but also the way it's consumed and the way your
It's like 7 layers.
mouth
Are you saying
dissects
7-layer salad is not a
different.
salad?
What is 7-layer salad?
That's what we have during like Christmas and Thanksgiving in my house.
Is it bean dip or is it all layers of Jello?
No, it's not Jello. I wouldn't eat the Jello stuff. Bottom layer is lettuce. Then it goes. I think it's a layer of sliced boiled eggs. Then shredded cheese, peas, bacon, and then a topping sauce made out of Miracle Whip and like something else.
You're a sick bastard. Alright, I'm looking at it. It's just it's fucking bean dip with different materials. It's like a white
Are you
person
telling me
saw bean dip and was like,
has
I can make that.
lettuce?
I just told you it's like bean dip, but with different ingredients. It's like a white person saw bean dip and was like I can make that at home.
Tacos are basically cookies with different ingredients.
Without even trying it. See, no, because they're not even made the same way. If you said something like, if you went ahead and said something like chili dogs and tacos are basically the same thing, but with different ingredients, I can't really fight you. I will say that the bread is very different.
I will hate you, but I can't fight you.
Chili dog has chili in it. It's got beef. I mean, the dog can too, but like
dogs,
they're notably different, both in size and the way you eat them, depending on here or there. Not
so
entirely.
Size guy.
Sorry, New Workins, don't.
Defute that.
It's
your compliance speaks volumes.
It's about the technique, but look, there's only so much you can do with a certain amount of mass. You need more mass at some point. There's diminishing returns to skill when you don't have a lot of mass.
So much mass.
Now, there is a fall-off point where that mass isn't helpful anymore.
Fallout 76.
No.
Yeah.
Hey, I made sure to have B12 and coffee for this. Because I don't know if you saw one of my last messages to you, but it was at like 5 a.m. So
5.
So no, I didn't go to bed until like 5 or 5.
It was at 1 a.m. You didn't go into bed until 5?
Yep.
Why?
I slept for 2 hours and I couldn't seem to fall asleep at least for another 4. So it was around midnight. So it was about 4 o'clock, and I was like, I could go to sleep. I feel like I can. And I was like, we'll just keep moose minering until I'm tired. Because it's already screwed.
It's a clicker game, Mark. It's a clicker game! Not really.
It is a clicker game, and I have so many meese.
How many meese do you have, Mark?
I have 10,707 meese. I have finished the entire achievements. If nobody knows what Moose Miner is, look it up, realize that it's really stupid, and
I got the demo.
I don't know why I've condemned myself to this.
Yeah, I have the demo, and I have 2.7 hours in it, and a lot of that is at least half of that is having it in the background while I did something else.
Yeah, I've got 409 hours.
I don't have
half of that is waiting in the back. Way more than half of that is just on in the background
at night.
Yeah, no, I just turn it on and then I go to bed and I wake up and I'm a trillionaire. At night. I'm a trillionaire. This is like Bitcoin mining.
Right. Oh,
I'm rich now.
Yeah, it's like Bitcoin mining with different ingredients.
But with different ingredients and no economic value.
Correct.
So it's like
so
NFTs.
Anyway, I played 2.7 hours of the demo, and I'm not interested in getting the full game. Mark, however, has the sunk cost fallacy, or whatever it's called.
It's not sunk cost. It's probably OCD weird bullshit.
Yes, that too. Anyway, welcome to the Stalk, everybody. Play the
I didn't have to buy the game. I had a free demo.
Yeah, you had the free demo, and then you bought the game.
Yeah, that's not sunk cost. That's buying something.
But Mark, you can't stop.
Yeah, it's called enjoying something.
I see.
This game is silly and entertaining to me, and that I will point out the what something is probably actually happening here is I'm used to this kind of game being a mobile game.
Hmm.
And I've played several mobile games that basically work with this same kind of curve of improvement, mainly based on numbers.
Hmm.
This is a little more open because you buy it to begin with instead of have a free one that they play ads to you every 2 minutes and then ask you to buy a $5 thing. Like, oh, buy a supply pack. It's good for. It'll really help. And in essence, that supply pack might get you very far right now, but in 2 weeks, the amount you would have progressed, it would get you by almost nowhere. So they could effectively, almost infinitely, get you something to buy at every level that becomes worthless so far after that. With that perspective, I don't want to buy any of that shit. But seeing it open is fun, and I'm very curious and want to push the game to its max because that's what I normally want to do in a game like this. And I want to see the experience of seeing an unhinged, strange individual that actually wants to sell this to me for $10 instead of nickel and dime me at every opportunity. I want to see what that gets me. I want to see an example of that because I'm so used to seeing the mobile game where it's just ad after ad, nonsense after nonsense. Mobile games will even do in this format. They will. Sorry about the coughing. I need to drink more water.
I need to finish my oatmeal before my instant oatmeal before it gets coagulated into a single mass.
Oatmeal.
Oh,
Yes,
and wait, just a
the
second. And intro music.
shaped oatmeal.
It's been looping since I started. In the background.
What?
I had to end the intro music. It's been going. I forgot to stop it.
Is any of that audio even usable now?
I mean, it'll be in the background.
Is it even isolatable? Do we have full ass fucking conversation?
I mean, I put the audio, or I put the music in afterwards. It's editing magic, Mark.
Oh, so you're stopping it, but it's more like a bit because it didn't actually happen.
Well, when you say it like that, then it's not funny because you say, "Oh, it's a bit." It's not a...
Right, it was really loud. I couldn't even hear myself think. I was talking about mobile games being really good. I don't know what was wrong with me. No, I was not talking about them being good. I said that, and I had regret. I needed to reclaim otherwise.
Right.
Well,
Anyway, your moose.
So some mobile games, you'll go ahead and start it, and it'll just be a couple levels, or it'll be a puzzle game, or whatever, and you'll clear a couple levels of whatever it is, whatever the loop, the game loop is, and you'll do like 10 of them, and you go, "This is pretty good, this is great," and they're like, "Hey, would you like to rate us?" And I go, "Oh, so you want a rating early before it gets to be garbage? Is that the plan?" No rating. Fuck you. And then another 10 loops. It's gonna go, "Congratulations, you won. You can double your winnings of this level if you watch an ad." And then I press no. And so another 5 to 10 loops later, that question happens again, and it might be happening for every level. But when it happens 5 to 10 later, if I press no, they'll run a short ad.
Ooh.
And I gain nothing. And then that will happen every level. Or they'll have this falsified bigger event of like getting to every 10 or 5, or you completed a major boss wave, or whatever it is, or this is an advanced puzzle. And then they'll go, "Oh, it was so amazing and great, and so we have this spectacular deal for you, and if you say no, we're going to make you watch an ad anyway." Scummy bullshit. When we reach that point, it will forever be scummy. And outside of that, the original thing that I understood of this is they want to nickel and dime me. That means I'm operating at a mechanical disadvantage always because it's not balanced for a free-to-play player. It is like, let's compare to something like Warframe. You've played for a little bit. It is grindy as fuck. Things like Destiny and Destiny 2, I'm told, are also very similarly grindy as hell. That grind, unless it is most of the experience for you, in Warframe, you can pay a premium. I think it's like a monthly premium.
Ooh.
You will then get double your points or whatever. That means the gameplay is a little better suited to somebody who's constantly paying to play the game rather than grinding twice as long. And personally, I've played it with that. It is at the tolerable level when you have it like that, when you're paying.
Oh yeah.
I still think it's too much because there's a decent amount of odds in a lot of things you're doing. And although it's fair that you're working for it, I forget what it's called. Cracking relics. I forget what that's called. And that gives you one of like 5 pieces for a set of armor. And you look at or frame or weapon or whatever it is. I forget if it's just frames. It might be. But you look at that relic and you say, "Oh, there's 5 possible items I can get from this relic." You go in, you do a short mission, you finish it, it cracks the relic, and depending on the rarity and stuff of the relic defines the kind of mission you're doing, and then you get that item. One of those items on that list. You could do that relic 6 times in a row and get the same fucking piece and get absolutely nowhere. That's a lot of grinding. I've also done mission runs where you need to go do a mission to complete something to get, again, like this, weapon part drops. I had to go like kill a Grenier guy who's in charge, and I did that mission 12 times. And I had everything I needed until the last 5 or 7. I had everything, and I just over and over and over and over. And I got the same thing all but like 2 of the times I got something else. But only that 14th or 12th time I actually got what I needed. There were multiple days of me coming home from work, playing many rounds or several rounds before I eventually got it. So we're talking 3 to 5 days before I got my hands on what I needed. Because I definitely at some point had to say, I cannot do the same run again. I'm going to lose my mind. I have to listen to him dialogue. Everyone in the squad I'm with is just sprinting as fast as they can because they've also in the same position, except for like one of the guys sometimes who's like, I've never been here before. This is a story mode. Which there's something to be said about that kind of experience. I can compare that to what is it? I can compare that to like Final Fantasy, places where you have to. Which one is it? 14, I think.
I've never played Final Fantasy.
XIV 14. So Final Fantasy 14. There's a you got a boss fight coming up. That means you need a crew of people. Call it a raid. That means you and a minimum of 3 other people get in as a format of 1 tank, 2 DPS, and 1 healer. Then you go fight something. And there's a really good optimized way to do that fight. And you get into that fight to grind out things that you need. Oh, I need more of these. Oh, I need more materials. Or I need a particular item drop or whatever else. And sometimes there's rare item drops from stuff like that. What really shouldn't be happening, and I don't know if it does, when you get in there for the first time, I hate to say that you shouldn't be able to be carried by people who are smart, because that's not the problem. The problem is you get in there and people who have played this insist that people need to be optimized and to do this right, or you've ruined their time. So I think if you started it for the first time, you should be in with someone else who's never done it before, because you should all equally be your first time and enjoy the story part that exists. Whereas I get into it and I'm watching a cutscene that lasts 2 minutes, and everyone else is sitting there with their hand in their pockets, just waiting.
Oh my.
Yeah, no, I was gonna phrase that differently. It's like a masturbation joke, but I totally just fumbled all of the words.
Yeah.
Standing there with their cock in their hand.
Ah, I see.
There we go.
I get it now.
With their cock in their pocket.
Just like me, for real, for
Cock it,
real.
if you will. Just oh, I relate. I do.
Oh, I
that.
get it now. I get Final
nothing better
Fantasy
to do, but-
14 now.
He gets it. No, there is like a really big one that I remember doing, and
Big what?
I had to do it several times. Raid boss fight,
okay.
and the cutscene is legitimately several minutes long. So you'd get in, you'd move to a position and wait and see if everyone moved, and if 3 people were still there for 10 to 20 seconds, you'd go, got it. I'll go open a video for 5 to 10 minutes or however long it takes for the fucking cutscene to go. And so everyone either sits around, dances at each other, does stupid things, says stupid shit, or just AFKs until they come back. That's a lot of time to be spending doing that. Like, these guys are new, and you can't skip the cutscene when you're brand new. But also, I've done it once, and the second time I'm in, I'm like, I want to see the cutscene again. Because I saw it once. It was impactful. I don't want to see it more than maybe 3 or 4 times, whatever it is, but like, there's some heavy story building in a cutscene that long that I want to catch on. Or it might be confusing because someone had to translate it from Japanese to English and make it make sense to me. So you're going to miss some stuff. That kind of comparison, that is my critique on that mechanic. But that kind of
Yeah.
I've derailed, and I knew I was going to, and I'm like, this fine, I can pull it back. What was I saying before that?
Warframe, you have 669.6 hours.
Oh, now I can't play. 0.6?
Yeah.
I need to play for 0.09.
Actually, you need to
So it
play
can be
for
600
you need to play for 7 more hours. And
Why? Oh. Well, yeah, I could go to the next tier, but if I do 0.9, I can get 669 and 0.69. That's 269s. That's the
no,
goal.
you're 669.
Yeah.
That'd be 696.9 to have 269s.
Oh, I thought you said it was 669.6.
Yeah.
Oh, it doesn't go to double decimal.
Yeah. I have
Yeah.
80.3 hours.
Man, what's wrong with it? No, I can't in good conscience recommend people play Warframe unless it is the environment they're interested in. Like, that's cool, story's cool, the world's cool, the lore's cool, and and then you get into it and you go, yes, I do enjoy the mechanics, then play the game.
I
agree with all those things. The grind is not okay.
What I remember from Warframe is that there are several buttons that you hit in a random order, and you just fly forward and kill everything in your way.
It's not a random order, but I'm glad. At some point, it does turn into like keyboard mush in your brain, and you go, I'm going to do jump. And then you hit 5 buttons, and you don't even pattern that in your head. It just becomes a sequence.
Yeah, I just remember
one action.
I can't do it. Like a while ago, I got back in to do a round or on a map, and I couldn't jump like I used to. Like I remember flying across the map in the jumping animation.
It is actually a skill. You got to know what you're doing.
Yeah, with my pangolin sword that I stayed up late.
Yes.
On a school night to grab.
Oh, we were working on getting you a heck.
Yeah, I do have the heck, I believe.
Oh, you have the heck? Perfect.
I think I have the heck.
I think I told you how my loadout worked, but I don't remember if that's what we were working on or not, or if you had that figured out. Because I got mine, and I think I renamed it the Heckfire.
Desire?
Because it's because I did make it incendiary because it allowed a boosted extra damage for doing so, but the damage is stupid. And especially early game, it's phenomenal.
Yeah.
As soon as you could get it. Because the unload shotgun remove half of Big Boy's health, or everybody in front of you is really good.
Big boy.
I think it's funny. I do have a different one that does explosion stuff like that. It looks weird. Looks like a Tyranid gun.
Yeah.
Um,
I just remember that I was getting to the point where
yeah.
my pangolin sword or whatever I was having, wasn't getting to be viable. I'd kept it too long.
Yeah. There is that. It's a sword variant. I don't know if that means it's better or worse than other types.
Yeah.
But like when you're like, oh, I love this item. I love this heck, but I can't use it anymore. I like this pangolin sword, but I can't use it anymore. You have two choices when you have made enough weapons. The choices are destroy the weapon and reclaim some material, or don't destroy it and it takes up one weapon slot. And you need another one now. If you are full on weapon slots, they don't give you a lot. You have to basically pay for a weapon slot. That is mobile game attitude. Otherwise, it is long-term service game attitude.
Yeah.
Which is probably where the mobile game shit started coming from. Both that and what's his name? Mr. Skyrim himself, Todd Howard, I think. I could be wrong if I'm thinking the wrong guy, but there was an in-game purchase for horse armor, and that was the beginning of the in-game transaction.
Oh yeah,
that was
the golden
first
horse armor.
In-game transaction.
I saw a skit about that.
Yeah, me too. Like, no one will buy this. They did. Was it? Did you see the time?
Yeah.
The time traveling one.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Don't buy it. I've calculated that this right here is the transaction that made them do it. Anyway,
got it. Makes sense. Already bought it.
There's a. I speaking of Warframe, I got a segue for you, Mark.
All right, before I do, just saying that armor slot. It's also Warframe slots do the same thing. It's fucked up in my opinion. You should start off with like at least 10 slots for your frames, and then probably 30 slots for your weapons. And it shouldn't cost as much as it does to buy another one. But theoretically, if you had enough to start with, I'd be willing to pay as much as they might be offering.
I remember I was
continue my collection.
I was just getting into the like crafting weapons portion. I think I was just close to getting or to opening like the whatever part of the ship, I think the med bay or whatever. Like you get infected with the thing. You schloink it out, and then you.
I've forgotten the purpose.
Yeah. And then after a while, the med bay opens up, and I don't know what you do in there.
Medical things. Yeah. That's what you did in the medical bay, is it not?
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe.
I think you.
But okay. There was the It might have been the medical bay where you got the thing stabbed and taken out.
Yeah.
And then there was the thing across the hall that opened up after that. I don't remember what that was.
That's like your lounge.
Oh.
There are 3 doors. The one across from it is a lounge, basically. It's like a trophy room.
Right.
You can set up a mini eco terrarium. You have a aquarium in there.
Ooh.
I got a bunch of robot fish in it.
Robofia.
Because that's a newer thing. I say that like it was recent, but
it was probably 6 years ago.
Right.
When we played Warframe.
Yeah. They have a world that you can go to, a really big open mechanically world? It's nice, the whole thing, but they've got an open world.
Yeah, I've been there.
Yeah, it's like the plains of Eidolon or something.
Yeah.
You know, the big giant fucking things walking around with lasers.
Maybe. I remember the big slab of space whale meat that you could stand under and get crushed by.
Nice. That was a little higher end exploring area. They made a new one. I forget what it's called. It'd come to me if I think about it, but it's snowy and it's basically like a slave planet.
Oh.
So you can go there and screw with some stuff and basically help dismantle a little bit for the story. The Mr. Technically I own all of the slaves kind of thing, but it's not through
Oh.
slavery, it's through
Indentured
contracts
servitude.
and pretty much, yeah. It I don't know if you had been there, but it's the oh you no you've been there. It's the all we all live together song.
All right.
Yeah, great advertisement starting song, phenomenal for
Oh yeah,
that.
I love
They did
that
they did
song and the other
fantastic.
one are on my music playlist.
Oh, they're on there somewhere for mine, I'm
Yeah.
sure. Um, yeah, no, that's
Every so often it
the
makes me want to go back to Warframe, but then I'm like,
right. That it reminds me that there is a hoverboard you can get there and use it as a travel thing. If you don't have it, it's fun, but you can also Tony Hawk trick skate and do shit.
right.
So that I wanted to get good at for a while. But in that space, for context, for anyone for the slavery context, is that you work for this guy to get paid. You don't meet your quota, they repo from you. So basically, you're either you're getting paid or you're already in debt. He will repo organs from you and replace them with better equipment until you are mostly machine and you are mostly in debt and continue to be in debt. And he owns you for as long as he can keep you repaired. So death doesn't really relinquish you. And theoretically, if you have children, that might also be on the list in terms of that kind of either owe this or they owe you. I know the debt is at least like your father was $7 billion in debt. It's passed to the next of kin kind of thing. So if you work there, do your best not to procreate. Hopefully, he'll take your balls at some point so you can't. Don't adopt anybody. I don't know where the debt goes if the family line ends. I don't think he needs to worry about that because it's not really debt. I think it's just charging absorbent interest on people and their function. But
Interest.
complete contract control over individuals.
Yeah.
So fun story, but that is a lower level version of the planes that we used to be on. You can get robot fish from there.
Robot fish.
They're swimming in the lakes of coolant.
Ooh,
That's why the place is
coolant.
snowy.
I like coolant. So cool.
Yeah.
And
So just think the rivers are made of antifreeze, and that's why it snows all the damn time.
ooh. So, Warframe, you say? There's a RimWorld mod for that.
Fuck's sake.
The RimWorld Rim Frame Vat Grown Hate mod.
I want all of the like
It adds Grenadier
pawn
armor
improvement stuff.
or
Oh
Grenier
no.
armor, whatever.
It doesn't need to be on brand. It can be its own brand. Like the War Casket brand, which
Right.
is a legally distinct both mechanically and conceptually from
Warhammer.
the Warhammer 40k, but it is
Okay, but
it's
if I
very
do
much
search
Warhammer 40k.
Warhammer, oh,
Yep, I'm sure there's something. I enjoy it when they're legally
40,000.
distinct.
Ah, you see, okay, there's one page of entirely Warhammer, the 12 pages of entirely Warhammer, 400,
fucking believe
4,000, 40,000.
4,000.
Dwarf Fortress in RimWorld.
Yeah, I suppose that's kind of what it is.
Yeah.
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 I love the idea of having the pawns and being able to be like, you're going to live longer. You're now upgraded. You've been adapted. You've been given armor. You've been given suits. You've been taking them from something and making them, because he starts the game off. I say he, like the creator of the game starts game off with pawns, and they almost always have to have a negative to outweigh the excessively positive or any of the
Yeah.
positive. So I like the idea of being able to improve it at varying levels at different intervals of the progress. I enjoy the long-term progress at some point where that's very good. Or the indoctrination in ideals that also lead to various benefits or mechanical benefits. You got a vampire. How do you get more vampires? How do you make other ones vampires? Is
They
there
have
an
they have
ideology
a
there?
genetic trait that gives them an organ that implants their genes into other people.
Vampires do?
Yeah.
They have a genetic trait that allows them to plant an organ into them?
Okay, let me open
Or they have an
RimWorld
organ that
so I
plants
can.
the genetics into. And are you going to make all of your people vampires in your current playthrough?
No,
Why not?
because Mark, there's an economy of blood.
Oh, how does that work, and how can we help? Is
Okay, well,
animal blood
okay.
appropriate or not?
Uh, Vampires are put into the RimWorld biotech DLC because they have to do with genetics, and they're vampires, but they may
They're not.
legally distinct vampires.
If we needed to be legally distinct, yeah.
Sanguiphages, as you would.
Ah,
You can mix and match the genetics and have part vampires, but vampires in RimWorld are the natural ones. Are not genetically vampires. Like they can have kids and they will just be regular people.
oh,
Because
so they're
in biotech you
modified.
have endogenes and xenogenes. Endogenes are like your genome, the ones that you express when you procreate, and then xenogenes are like what's on top of that, not in your genome, but it's what you express in
That's what
yourself.
I say when I'm in the bedroom. I'm expressing.
Correct.
Uh, you mean you do mean for more like a Punnett Square kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, but anyway, the vampires they need blood. Uh,
Me
like
too.
every other day or something like
Stay in
that.
there.
If they get
So
low on blood, they get angry, and if they run out of blood, they will eventually uh collapse and go to what they call a death rest, which is if the
so they
vampire
hibernate
takes
without
enough
food.
damage and or just after a certain amount of time, or if it runs out of blood, they'll go into a death rest, which is where they basically have to lay there for like a week, dead, basically, until they can wake up again. That can be sped up with having them do it in a coffin with an accelerator on it.
All right, so hold on.
Yes.
Are you telling me that if they run out of blood, they'll go into a death sleep? What happens when they come out of it? Could you forever not give them blood?
Yeah.
They just have
They,
a downtime.
I think. Okay, they might need to be given blood in during the death sleep to then wake up.
Okay, that would make more
I
sense. I was
haven't
just
I
wondering
haven't
if you
tried
just need to
not
have
doing
a
that
big enough
because
crew.
it's just if they're
Pain.
going into an involuntary death rest, it's not a good situation.
Mhm.
Like the one vampire I had in my one playthrough.
Has done that a
Uh,
lot.
well, you see, we had a whole bunch of little robots that landed with shotguns, and she said, "Oh, I'm
Oh,
just gonna go walk over here and do whatever it is over there." She got too close, got shot down, She was downed, too near to the robots to go and fetch her. And so she went to a death rest because she got absolutely decimated. Ran out of her own blood and all the other stuff. And I think she was just laying there because the vampires, they can't die unless their brain is destroyed.
Hmm.
They have
If they're
a
decapitated?
yes, that would count. They don't have they have a gene that makes them immune to death, except by the brain thing, so they can't die.
So they just need their main nervous system attached. What happens if their arm gets cut off or something?
Then their arm gets cut off.
Okay, no growing back and stitching back on.
Like in the Rim world that you and the guys are sitting
Heal,
in
no
on.
regeneration.
The one vampire there does not have a leg because it got bitten off by a cougar.
Cyborg vampire. It sounds like a crazy, amazing, cheesy movie.
Yes.
The cyborg vampire. Surely their blood requirement would go down if they have less limbs. They theoretically would take less damage and need less blood for repair.
Right. Okay, let me
Just
go to
one.
Xenotype Editor. Okay. I can look at all the things now. Okay.
Ooh.
Okay. Alright, yeah. They can have the Deathless gene, which carriers of this gene have archites in their blood, which will sustain their life process no matter what. As long as the brain remains intact, a carrier of this gene will never die. So, I had the idea, what if you had a vampire and put him in a war casket?
Just the head.
I don't think you could kill them. A very low chance that their brain
Incredibly
gets
hard.
destroyed. But I tested it, and they can walk over like several anti-grain warheads and survive.
I want to help you get to that point in
Right.
your current run. Well, so I do think we should test that and see whether your what kind of blood requirement is needed. What's the bare minimum? So my thought was that if they're down for a week and you have 7 of them, as long as they're not getting injured every day, but let's say they can be up for a week and then down for a week and a cost of no blood, then you're just rotating one vampire out every day. It doesn't require you to have 7 times. Do they need to eat? Regular
Yes.
food?
They need to eat regular
Okay,
food,
so they are still a
but
cost.
the blood need is a different thing.
Additional.
Yeah, they have the hemogenic trait, which they have a pool of blood, and they lose 2 blood per day. And it's like 100 blood at max with the base, because you can increase that with other things.
Nice.
Oh wait, let me make this guy into a sanguiphage. Yes, and look at his. Why did turning him into a vampire make him a furry? Great. Oh, actually, they lose 10 blood per day. Because they have another trait. Carriers lose an additional 8 hemogen per day from biological entropy. Complexity 1. Okay, yeah. So they lose
Too much.
10 blood. They can go 10 days, I guess, without needing blood. However, they aren't going to be happy for all that time, and yeah. So you need a decent amount of people to acquire blood from. And typically that would be prisoners or something, because people don't exactly like having their blood taken.
Prisoners require food.
Yes.
See, this sounds very food exhaustive then.
It is food exhausting.
And you're already having an issue with food.
It's getting
As is.
better, I think.
So they can't get blood from animals.
No, it has to be people.
Okay, got it.
I had a
Similar
long-winded, no crippling. I can't just feed off of the animals. Why not? Because I can't.
Well, what about a bonozo?
They're just,
They're very similar.
they're
Come
very
on.
similar. However, they don't have the human twang to them.
They don't have the twang.
Yeah,
They've got a touch of the human yeehaw, but not quite the
yeah.
twang.
They do have the feet thing, though.
They,
This is in reference to a video I sent Mark last night about a guy communicating with bonobo apes down in the... apparently, Des Moines has a bonobo research center, which I didn't know we had.
don't think I knew what a bonobo is to begin with, but
It's the closest related
Totally.
ape to a human.
the
Okay, well, we're their closest relative.
or I like to. I mean, yes, but I had a. I mean, it's not really epiphany. But I had a perspective thought of like they're the closest relative to like the Neanderthal kind of thing,
Right.
which is.
I mean, that's just another...
It's obvious. But
That's another
it's
species of human.
interesting. Yeah, it's just I don't know. Because when you look at the gap from today to then, I'm like, I'm trying to compare, and I'm like, what am I doing comparing this far away? I mean, yes, sure. I'm not saying it shouldn't, but and I'm no expert. I'm not sure my comparison matters anyway. But theoretically, there's a lot of steps between there and Neanderthal first before it's even there from Neanderthal to us. There's
I mean, you're saying
I don't
that
know.
as though Neanderthals were
Well,
less evolved than us. They were just differently evolved.
no, they're lesser beings because they lost.
Like they didn't lose. We fucked them into our own genome.
Yes, that's survival at best, but they're not the peak
Mark,
of what has
Mark,
become.
you are part Neanderthal.
That's right. Only part. If I was full Neanderthal, I'd have to give them their credit, but they lost.
Right.
Isn't there thoughts about there being like 8 different species ish, or there's just not
Yeah.
really certain?
I mean, they're
I mean, there's a lot of
they're
uncertainty
different
anyway,
species of humans, but the like the two main ones, I think, were Homo sapiens and Neanderthals. There's like a few others, but I think human Homo sapiens and Neanderthals were uh, they were the top ones because I think because they both used tools. It's just Homo sapiens used more tools, whereas the Neanderthals had more muscle mass, so they didn't necessarily need the.
yeah, my brain sees it as there is the monkey, and then there is the intelligent.
Right.
There's more of the there's the brawny versus the brains, and it might be why we have the brawn and the brain on that, unless that's just simply the scale.
Right. I mean, they weren't. I mean, they knew medicine.
Well, they had
Like they could
like
fix a
various kinds of tools.
they could fix a broken bone if they had it.
which is crazy at that.
Right.
Although I did hear some stuff about Neanderthals having a far better ability to either repair or exist after breaks.
Right. Well, they were like shorter and more stocky than humans, or than Homo sapiens.
Dwarves.
Maybe.
No.
I mean, they had bigger nasal capacity. Like they had bigger airways, so they could breathe more air.
I get more air.
Yeah.
I didn't get that part of the Neanderthal. Apparently, that's my problem.
Yeah. You're too human.
Uh, too sapien.
You're too sapien, Mark.
Too homo.
You're too homo. Too homo, not enough sapien.
That was the two species before. The Homo sapiens were Homo and sapien.
Yeah.
And now we.
Yeah.
But looking at it, that kind of like dichotomy between those two genetic fields is interesting because now I'm comparing a bunch of other stupid shit. Like, it's like desk worker to laborer difference.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's either the natural ways that we're generally capable of getting into neurologically, the daily patterns and life patterns, or it's something that you either have more of or less of, depending on the genetic lottery you get your hands on. Which
And,
is again still
yeah.
reasonably just as interesting.
Neanderthals had bigger skulls and bigger brains.
But was it as wrinkly?
I don't know.
And then the question is, are they the battle tacticians or are the other ones?
I think they were.
Because I think we can only.
I think it was like they were less adept at throwing because they had more brute force, so they didn't really need to learn like throwing.
Oh yeah, that's that's necessity as well.
So
because there's
if you can simply run up to something and stab it really hard, you don't really need to throw the thing at it.
Yeah, well, okay, so there's also culture stops people from advancing in various directions, and the technology available helps goad in one direction or stop. So for, I don't know, let's use a shitty example like windmills, because they're still expensive and a lot of repair costs are not really analyzed appropriately. But theoretically, we have a much better windmill today than we did 20 years ago. It's far better in a lot of ways. But we didn't have the research at some point. So there was, I believe, government funding to go in that direction to see how useful it could be. Because we have a bunch of research in all other forms of power generation and coal power generation. So we can do that very well. So if you already have the culture to go in melee combat rather than throw shit, or even if it's short range spear throws and not long range anything, you're just used to it. You're taught it. There's a bunch of information you can get from your elders. There's no reason to deviate because it works. You'd have to consciously agree to do extra to go around that or be supplied with a problem to overcome, with that being a possible solution. There is a modern tribe as of, I think, 20 years ago ish. It was either in the 2000s or in the 90s, I think. They had known about them. You weren't supposed to really interfere with them
Right.
in their cultures and stuff, but they, to some degrees, and they didn't really want to, and that's partly because of they like the way they're living. Leave me the fuck alone.
Yeah.
And they have bows. None of their arrows have fletchings. They didn't really need better fletchings. I think it had to do with the type of animal they're shooting. They're able to either get closer, or it wasn't really a big deal, or it's a small enough island that they're just dealing with higher population and it's whatever. Maybe their bows are slightly better. Maybe they make everything else slightly better. Maybe the wood works better as for that poundage of bow that they're using in the way they've designed it, that it's not as necessary. Regardless of all those details, somebody did put fletchings on an arrow or several and let them try it out, and they went, oh shit, that does work better. And so they may have, I don't don't know if there was any follow up on that. They may have now have fletchings, but they were able to not. They were one of like 2 tribes, or the only tribe to not put fletchings on an arrow when developed individually away from everybody else. I don't remember the words I'm trying to use for that. Separately from everyone else, independently, developing a bow and arrow. They did not figure out to put fletchings on it to the modern era, but everyone else had, or had traded it, that information around. But they're way behind the curve on that. So even if there is a necessity, it's interesting that there can still be weird flukes like that. And if the culture doesn't demand improvement in that area, or the life doesn't demand improvement in that area, it's not going to happen. And I like to think about how much culture really fences people in. And if you're happy with life, or you think this is the way life is, and you don't ask yourself what could be more, you don't push that boundary, and you don't get more.
Yeah.
You don't strive for more, and your people don't either, and they will resist you usually. But if they disagree with, I have everything I need, I don't need to imagine more, then they're going to push you back because they don't want more. More could lead to more complications. Just like how they don't want to involve themselves with people who've invented microwaves. They do want any part of that. They don't want any part. So that's their culture refusing to take any advancement. I don't know what to say about that.
Well, without a need to improve something, it won't be improved.
Some people will push to improve.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And eventually,
for entertainment value.
Eventually, you will.
Enough people exist that accidents will occur, or that somebody will take interest.
Yeah. But
not always. It's like fletchings didn't exist there. There's going to be a fluke. That's an example of, I guess, a fluke, because there's a big comparison list on a bunch of tribes, modern era, and in the last several hundred years, what technology they were advanced at before they started getting it from someone else.
But like, what is it? Necessity is. What do I say? Necessity is the mother of invention, or something.
Yeah, and then there's another something other. I fucked your mom. I forget how that other sap goes.
Fuck your mom, shit lips.
Necessity is the mother of invention, and I'm your dad now.
Oh,
there's a second follow-up funny joke. There's also a second follow-up that's actually really cool, but I can't remember it because I'm not really involved in a trade that looks at that very often. So just imagine something really cool was said right after you said that, and then
whoa, Mark.
I agree.
Wow,
that was crazy.
Ooh,
that is introspective. Let me tell you.
Introspective.
Tells me a lot about the human condition. Right there. That's
Whoa.
Yeah. I definitely agree, and myself would. Okay. Well, here's another fun idea for comparison, since we do the video games, and I love mechanics. I also love the psychology that a game has. I like, in a way, it's kind of like culture, but the psychology in which you can entice and coerce players to behave a certain way via directly from the mechanics, not strictly from story building, but that can also be considered a mechanic. Where I should come up with a good example. I don't really have one on the top of my head, but in a game where, like, let's just use like Deep Rock because it's got some simple
Deep Rock
stuff. You're going to a planet, you're killing the bugs, you've got guns, you've got grenades, you've got armor, you've got perks. All of those work together in various different ways, and you can mix and match so many of those. But when you just look at like a gun, there's usually just 2 or 3 options per like 5 tiers of upgrading the weapon. And a lot of those are like, do you want to do more damage? Do you want to fire more often? And it's a whole measurement of how the damage is done and how it interacts and gets to the target. You can create play styles around that gun, multiple different types of play styles or in multiple different fashions, where even for your entertainment, do you not find yourself, and in other games, refusing what might be the easiest solution and opting for the most entertaining solution?
Yeah.
So if culturally shooting arrows is weak sauce child behavior, no one's going to accept that, and someone's going to try to murder you in your sleep. Or you get good at doing melee and hitting people with a rock, or throwing spears short range, or stabbing, or hitting with an axe or a club, that the Neanderthals will only tolerate. So they could eliminate individuals throughout their time and refuse to let people do things long range because it's not the way they are. It's not their people. The only way that's going to happen is if
They say,
they have
ew,
a
that's
schism
cringe.
or change their behavior, or a bunch of the old fuckers die, or there's a rebellion and they kill them and then they're able to introduce their new ideas.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it would take minimum thousands to way more before there's like partial physical adaptation to get to the point where they accept this, or the environment itself demands it and they willingly accept regardless of how they feel about it to some degree to adapt and change.
Yeah.
I mean, at some point you could go like, yeah, no, we use bows, but we only use it for hunting and only for necessity. We do not use it in combat against ourselves or other tribes because it's unfair. A lot of them don't have it, and we think we think it's not cool, man. It's rude and it's pussy shit. We don't do that. So they avoid doing that. In a video game, it's not about having the best. Some people are after the best, and some people are after the most fun. But like it or not, we all have the dopamine receptors and we learn a pattern and prefer a method and a pattern. There's logical thought to it, but there's also just entertainment and lifestyle. So it's interesting. That's the counter to progression in a way. But it doesn't also have to be I don't need it. It could just simply be these fuckers said we do it old school. Stop that weird flying arrow shit. We don't accept. But then how many groups were there? Was there a group of Neanderthals that did prefer? I'm not saying they had bows at the time, but let's say they did. Some had bows, some were okay with spears, and some said axe is the only way. Different behaviors, different groups.
Probably.
You've seen them Meet the Crudes?
Yes.
Do you think that was intentionally designed to have the Crudes be the Neanderthals, and then
Were they Neanderthals?
One guy was gonna be might start dating the daughter,
Maybe.
and he was
It was a historical documentary.
He didn't have the big forehead, and he acted different and used a lot more tools, and wasn't very strong. He was lanky. He had more focus on.
Maybe. I mean, they probably did research.
This is all right. So, guys, Meet the Crudes is real lore. I just want you all to know.
It's
Nicolas
factual.
Cage was there.
Yeah. Nicolas Cage.
Nicolas Cage is the dad.
Oh.
Look it up. Look it up now, so you get your visual for your brain.
Crude's characters. Yeah, Grug was Nicolas Cage.
Yep, Grug was Nicolas Cage. Oh no! Wait, does Canadian listen to these?
I don't think so. Why?
Nothing.
What did you find?
Thought just came to my head. Oh, it's a particular angle. Never mind. Nothing.
Do you think Canadians are Neanderthal?
I was gonna make a joke. Um.
I mean, it is possible that
Well, some
through
people
all the
behave more
genes and alleles and
meathead these days.
everything,
I'm not saying he
a
does.
Neanderthal could just be born today. Think about it, Mark. It's possible
Sorry.
that all of the Neanderthal genes could align in a family tree to produce someone who is just simply a Neanderthal. And who's to say that's not Canadian?
He's won the Neanderthal lottery.
Yeah.
The Neanderthalic.
Canadian,
lottery.
if you are listening, send Mark a message when you hear this. And me too.
There are there.
I don't care what it is because I know you're gonna say "fuck you" or something.
I hate to like. In this particular case, at least, I hate to draw so many comparisons to the modern era and be like, the Neanderthals are are the Republicans and the Homo sapiens are the Democrats.
I see.
But they're because there's a mix of how people behave and prefer things. But it could just simply be that is the full expanse of the mindset of what's genetically capable in some regard, where or we're taking the modern era and using it as a lens to understand the old era, and that bias is having us believe other things about the creatures as well, about Neanderthals and Homo sapiens, what they did and don't do their time. I can't help but see there's heavy culture on like a rural family, and a rural family typically in America is more Republican, and a city dwelling family or a more well-off family is typically more Democratic, whereas the poorer you get, the more Republican you get, or you get centralized. But these are the patterns I witness around the area.
Mm,
And I can't help but see that, like, farmer strength, Neanderthal meathead.
I see.
Doesn't know much about
Are
politics.
you?
Eventually does, but I don't know. What
Are
is
you
science?
calling
I don't know.
farmers
They get a bad
dumb?
experience with doctor. Like, okay, so you and I have our gripes about local doctors.
Right.
But if we went to like Des Moines,
Yeah.
I'd be like, yeah, you guys do what you think you need to do, because you fuckers know what you're doing.
Yeah, you're
But if
right.
I went to a local doctor, I'd be like, I think I don't necessarily know better, but I'm gonna take my own chances because I'll
Yeah.
just be terribly pissed when you do something stupid. And I go, I have to pay for your fucking stupid mistake? No.
Yeah.
So if
And the fact that
the concepts of science and the advancements that we've made as a human race were readily available at the top 20% or 10% of our capacity, that's at least capable on a bigger mass publicized scale, not like stuff that's still in a lab, I'd be far more on board with so much that is said and done and recommended. But it takes a while to get there. When I'm reading textbooks in school that are 80 years old, or I'm at a hospital that seems to not know what the fuck they're doing, or wants to save me $10 per bottle of whatever they prescribe me, so they give me the cheaper version that's 50% less effective, I don't know why anything between those scales. Like, I don't know. It's annoying, and I can totally see why in various places, like let's say rural and less developed areas, they won't accept that advancement. If
right.
you are more well off to do and get involved in places with higher class and higher capabilities, or into more developed cities, towns, hospitals, research areas, universities, whatever, you have more access to what is closer to peak, and you go, yes, this is good, and it works out far more often in your and everyone's favor. So I can't be opposed to someone out here being opposed to going to the dentist or going to the doctor, because I feel like people fuck it up out here pretty often. And that creates this kind of culture that there's meatheads that oppose science, and that people who don't know any better and haven't been educated oppose science, but their real life experience is showing them that it is shit.
Yeah.
Because it can often be shit. Now, a lot of people will focus on the negatives and get stories from other people, but again, that's just creating this kind of look to things. And when people grow up rural, they get a different set of morality compared to otherwise. I, as a kid, went, there's way too many people in one little space. That would drive me nuts. I don't want to live in a big city. I'm currently living off of a highway in the middle of a small town.
You love it.
I don't enjoy it, and I don't sleep well. I turn my bed around so my head is farther away from my door. I sleep so much better. And it's not feng shui, because that door leads to another door, which then leads to a room that's a window facing the fucking highway. And I get to hear every air brake is clear as day. I do. They're thin as fuck. I do close the door. I close the door all the time.
But there
is no second door.
The door.
What?
But they quilt over the door.
A quilt. No, I'll get a bead doorway.
What kind of beads?
What do you mean by that?
I was just asking what kind of, like, wooden beads or ceramic, plastic.
Personally, I'm thinking bamboo, but I think it might.
I'd be too afraid of splinters.
Bamboo's a softwood. It's fine.
Oh.
It's meant to take on water, and it shouldn't fray.
Wait, what do you mean water? What?
Huh?
Anyway, Ryan Reynolds was the guy in the Croods.
Oh my god, that's right. Oh, that's right. They called him the guy. And the guy in Spy Kids.
He's also Ryan Reynolds.
Okay. No, it's not.
Yeah, it's your what?
No. It's lore accurate. He's the guy.
He's the guy.
Legend 27.
Yeah. The Legend 27.
He's I don't know why that joke isn't continued and adds into the modern era. It's still fun. I mean, if they beat it like a dead horse, it won't be funny anymore, but they could totally throw another 2 out and then wait 4 years and then do another one.
Yeah. I wonder where he is
the
now.
IP fresh. Come on. Yeah, he's moved on with his life. He doesn't play mobile games anymore.
Oh.
He has a family.
It wasn't a mobile game. It was VR, Mark.
VR.
It's the game. It's the Pogo Toad.
I don't remember.
You don't remember the Pogo Toad?
No, I thought it was like a mobile idol game.
No, it was
or like a Clash of Clans-esque.
No, it was a console game.
It's a console game?
What are we talking about?
All right.
In Spy
I'm looking
Kids?
up the lore.
No, it was a game. No, it was like an Xbox game or something adjacent that they just kept looking at and they got hypnotized. But then they took the one spied kid and they shoved like a spike in his head and sent him into the game. Like in your favorite anime.
Huh?
Your favorite anime, Mark.
What's my favorite? Wait, what?
Sword Art Online. Your favorite anime.
No. I just looked up, who is Legend 27? I've been seeing this comment all over YouTube. They say something like, I'm supposed to be playing a game of war, but this one player keeps kicking my ass. And then someone replies, is it the Legend 27? Please help me. Game of War Fire Age. No, I don't want. They're actually quoting. That's line for line from the ad. Show me gameplay. Game of War Campfire Stories Feat the Legend 27. I like how they decided to say feet. It was very, very necessary to put these in there.
Yeah. So anyway, RimWorld.
Yes, give me the gameplay. Give me the gameplay. This is not VR.
What are you looking up?
This is not VR. The game that the Legend 27 is about. Okay, yeah, no, this is closer to like Clash of Clans. But I don't think it is. There. And it is an old game from back in the day when our phones were ratioed like this.
Oh. I thought you were talking about the game from Spy Kids, because we were talking about Spy Kids.
Oh, God. This is like a... I don't know if this is an older version, but this is like a... Oh, no.
Whoa.
I played a game similar to this, but...
3 years ago.
Not as weird. Anyway, so no, the guy in Spy Kids is the actor for Frodo in Lord of the Rings.
Ryan Reynolds did Frodo in the Lord of the Rings.
Oh, Spy Kids. Frodo. Images. Give me images. I want them side by side. I don't have them side by side. That's unfortunate. Here. Where's a shot of his face that looks recognizable? He looks younger, so that's hard to. The one where he looks most deranged is for some reason the best. Ah, there you go, side by side, much better.
Yeah.
Elijah Wood.
Yeah. Ryan Reynolds used to be called
Ryan Reynolds?
Elijah Wood.
Original name was Elijah Wood.
Anyway, so Mark, are you enjoying the RimWorld Twitch integrated streams?
Looks like Spider-Man. Looks like Tobey Maguire. Yes, I am. I am because it's an interesting game to me, so I do find it interesting to see it. But this also shows me like the whole scale of a lot of the things. I get to see the entire item kind of list, so I get to see a bunch of what the game and its mechanics are. And to me, I love game mechanics, so I'm watching the capacity of the game. It's entertaining to me.
Oh.
So I'm still, I really hate roguelike.
You do hate roguelikes. This isn't really a roguelike, though.
Oh, but they all die.
It's
all you lose.
They don't They don't die a lot. Everything. They're dying a lot here because you like send me 3 absolutely useless colonists. I'm like, what do I do? They're only eating food. I don't need this many people to clean the floors.
Send them to war as cannon fodder. Alternatively, lock them away for blood and get more vampires.
Right. Okay. I've had 2 people in the, okay. There's been 2 people in that RimWorld thing that have gone, that have had a mental break, which is, returning to the wild and becoming a wild person.
And neither of those were the shit ones we gave you.
Correct. Also,
Neither of them.
I've never had that happen before. The amount of times that things have gone bad in all of my rim worlds, they've not gone bad enough that
You've
people
never
have said,
seen
you
them
know
go
what, I'm better
feral."
off being naked in the wild on the rim.
Naked on the rim?
Yes. It's a
What?
rim world, Mark. It's on the rim of the
Insane.
universe. It's like the Wild West.
Ah.
Glitter worlds
I
in rim
hate that I'm
worlds
just
are worlds that
comparing
are
fucking.
like really advanced and they've basically have a utopia there.
I hate that I'm measuring all of this to fucking Warhammer 40K.
Right.
I'm trying not to.
It's
I'm trying
because
not
it's
to. I'm
because I
holding
got the
back.
one Warhammer adjacent mod, isn't it?
Yes, but a glitter world is also there's similar variants of that in Warhammer, and I think it's just what is going to happen when you have a lore system that is that massive in
Yeah.
terms of the universe that there's going to be a lot of common ideas like
Yeah.
paradise worlds and industry worlds and stuff like that.
Well,
And maybe that kind of structure is not nearly going to be
but also in
realistic, but fantasy wise,
there,
common. It
there's
seems.
not a lot
At
of
least I'm starting to think it is.
lore in RimWorld because it's not a lore game.
More rim
It
for
is
my world.
it's a simulation game of a colony or a planet,
I need
whatever.
more rim. No, I'm here for the lore.
Oh yeah.
Fuck these guys.
Yeah. Well.
I need.
Well, you
to
see,
hear
there were
these
the
words.
ancient whatever architect or architect, I don't know what you call it. That were basically okay, if I had to draw a conclusion, it would probably be like
The human race before they fell.
no. No, uh if it was Warhammer, it'd what
Just explain it, and then I can tell you what it is.
yeah, okay. What are the ones that in the very beginning that were with the warp? Uh
The Necrons?
no, the other ones.
The Eldar.
Eldar. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah, it's basically them, except they all died and they have like really good stuff that they left behind. Like
So here's
there
the
are
fun
batteries.
part. Humanity did that too, but then they had an AI uprising and
Right.
their entire everything collapsed.
Hmm.
So we are still finding their old tech and they're putting it to use or trying to understand it,
Right.
which is in my brain all the time. And I can go on a tangent on that in a minute. But
We see this is like ancient things. It's like we have no idea who they were. We just find their stuff, and it's like, oh, this is a battery that infinitely produces energy. Odd.
Oh,
Here's
odd.
a bionic eyeball that is like 250% better than our own eyeballs. Natural.
Yeah, like they've solved so many fucking problems
Right.
and
Like they have
so
like
many
those jeans I
solutions.
was talking about.
They're bell bottomed, and that was the style at the time.
Which was the style. Yeah. Okay.
Can we hit
if I
pause
go
for a
if I
break?
look in, there are archetype genes which you can own in the game. You can only get by either you strip them out of a vampire, I think, or you can research them with special capsules that you get late in the game. That then you can implant those genes into your colonists. Those genes are ageless, which means that carriers of this gene have archites in their bloodstream which continuously reverse the process of aging, starting at the age of 13.
Okay, so because
starting
that's
at the age
so
of 13,
compatible,
carriers begin to biologically age slower. By 18, the aging process stops completely. So they are forever 18 years old, biologically.
I'm gonna go ahead and say because they're compatible, I don't have a reason to believe that they weren't humans and this was designed to work for them, and everybody was going to get that.
Right. I mean, that's possible. But
All right, so I've got a real quick note though.
yes.
I have to shit.
Okay.
I'd like to take a break.
Okay. You take
It's
break.
probably that coffee, also all that pancake.
Okay.
Break time.
Break time.
Break time.
I will stop the
You need to,
recording
like,
and I
make
will
noise so we
restart
see it
when
on
I
the audio.
also go take a break.
Then you know where to cut. You know where to cut now.
I'm just gonna stop recording, then I'll start recording again.
No, that's too difficult.
Okay, go shit.
I'm back.
You're back.
I'm back.
Oh,
Are we recording yet?
yeah,
We are.
yeah,
We are.
yeah.
When did that happen?
When you sat down and went, because I didn't know if you'd say anything funny.
Oh, what if I go shit again?
I'll kill myself.
Nice.
Okay, what we said, we got about half an hour before I gotta cut this off.
Cut off.
Alright.
There was a rant of something that I was gonna do, but
Rimworld.
Was.
We got, it's the archites, or our architects, whatever you want to call this. You can get special genes that either they made, or something. You can get these, in the game you can get these capsules, and then you can research those, and then you can have a choice between, well, there's a chance to get whatever genes. I haven't gotten to that point of getting those genes yet, but
Genes.
you can implant them into your pawns after that. Oh, pardon. Like I said, there was one that makes you ageless, which stops the aging process after 18 years of age. So once they turn 18, then they stop aging, if they haven't before that. Scarless. Every 15 to 30 days, one old wound or chronic illness is healed.
Wait, how often?
15 to 30 days.
Huh.
A year in RimWorld is 60... No. Like 48 days. I think each season is 12 days. So just over a season. Non-senescent trait, which means that their cells don't get age-related diseases like cancer.
Cancer.
Yeah, cancer, heart attacks, bad back, braille, cataract, dementia, Alzheimer's, asthma, artery blockage. They could probably still get those if you use the.
Is artery blockage considered old age?
Maybe.
I mean, I get if it's like inflamed or something. Or...
I don't know.
Oh well, when you get older, your arteries and blood vessels get stiffer. So
Yeah.
theoretically, because that's the issue with blood pressure is that because of that, it alters the way your blood pressure works. Your diastolic doesn't work is worse.
Maybe.
I forget how that goes. Basically, it doesn't flex enough to compensate for various blood pressures, which makes your blood pressure skyrocket rather than equalize.
Yeah. You need those stretchy vessels.
I think the worst part is when it drops.
Oh?
I could be wrong. I
Yeah.
think that's the more dangerous, but I don't remember. Or no, diastolic is in between the heart pumps, which is technically less. I don't remember. The
Anyway,
problem is that there's no flexibility. That's the root problem. I don't remember why.
Well, I mean, if your vessels aren't stretching enough, that's probably not good.
There's definitely about equalizing the pressure in a better way because of it.
It doesn't spike and then go down in between.
Yeah.
It's more gradual.
And so, yeah, and an
Okay.
increased heart rate would be a bigger issue with that, which was probably where the stereotype of like, you scared your grandma, and now she's having a heart attack. Like, oh,
Yeah.
because she was close to the edge of having a fucking problem as is.
Yeah.
Um, but I did kind of like brain workshops and stuff with my dad. It'd be cool if you could get something like a stint, but it's actually just a little. It's like a pressure thing that basically can
Yeah.
compensate for the flexing that your
A pressure
most of your
regulator.
blood basically
Yeah.
basically like a regulator, but probably more something like something that's extra flexible or something that's takes up enough space that allows it to flex to compensate.
Yeah.
So it like I don't know what you'd call it, blood pressure implant. I don't know
Yeah.
if I can know. Artery implant.
Pressure regulator. Anyway, another gene, perfect immunity. They're immune
Well, you
to
can't
like the flu, malaria, sleeping sickness, plague, other things.
malaria.
Malaria. Archite metabolism. That just. That's just used to boost the metabolic efficiency because all the genes either give you, well, depending on if they're good or bad, they increase or decrease your metabolic efficiency. Low efficiency, you need to eat more food. High efficiency, you don't need to eat as much food as a normal person. Uh, Next one, gene implanter. Carriers of this gene can implant a copy of their xenogerm into another person through a somewhat gross-looking injector organ. Their own genetic material will then regrow very quickly, uh, or no, very slowly. If they implant their genes while regrowing, they will die. Germline genes will be unaffected. There's two different types of genes in here, uh, and I suppose that would be uh, similar to dominant and recessive genes, maybe. But like you have your germline genes, which are uh, what people can inherit, and then you have your xenogenes, which are what is expressed and what here can be uh, implanted into other people. Get
Hmm.
what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And then the last one is deathless, which they can only die if their brain is destroyed.
Hmm. Deathless.
Yeah.
Like toothless, but not.
Yeah. Uh, but the art, like the architects, they also have. There's some weapons that they have, like the psychic charge lance, insanity lance. Uh, those are like limited use physical weapons that will make people go insane or other things if you use them on them. There's also the mechanoids, which are a bunch of different types of robots that can be thousands of years old. Uh, and they used to be uh, like serving robots. Like the one was a like the one with scythes for hands was a farming robot. It says about it, but now it just uses those scythes to kill people.
That's in Warhammer.
Yeah.
Kinda. How big is it?
About the size of a person.
Okay. Then maybe not. Concept kind of exists.
But
Titans used
I'm
to be.
assuming they something went rogue, and then they have like maybe a ship or something that flies around making new ones.
Oh,
I think that's how it works because it says like the mechanoid hive, and it's like, oh, there's more of them.
great. They're
Or you just,
self-reproducing. Why did we let them do that?
why didn't we make them sterile?
Why? Why? Why did we give them the keys to their own creation?
Nah.
No!
Yeah. Yeah, it sucks.
Like, even we have limiters on creating people.
Yeah.
These guys just like, pour metal in, get machine out. I want 5,000 today.
Yeah.
The comparison. So much possible damage.
Oh, much damage.
Ah,
I've also added a new mod since we played last. Actually a few mods, but it's like this
we
one,
need to do it again.
Alpha Animals. It adds different variants of, well, like big megafauna.
Megafauna. Laser shark.
Mm. Like I remember in one Charborg video, a few years ago, he had this mod, uh, and there's a big hermit crab that has a giant boulder on its back that will walk through your map and pretty much destroy anything in its way. And usually it walks through your base.
That's nice of it.
Yeah. I think in here it said you can tame it and then mine the rocks off of its back. And it regrows them, I think.
Ugh.
It also adds really big spiders. So I've probably hindered myself by adding this. Because the Rim Connect mod, which does the...
Rim Connect.
Stop it. The Rim Connect mod, which does all of the...
Connect.
Twitch integration! It has modded items in it, which is interesting.
It just pulls from the item list.
Yeah. So I'll probably do another one of those streams tonight then.
Yes!
Oh yeah, I also got...
Do you want to do it tonight sooner or later in the sense that if we want to do Pulsar, if everyone's available?
I don't know.
Just throwing things on the table.
Yeah.
In terms of a logistical sense. If everyone's there for Pulsar, you want to do a little sooner than the likelihood of everyone showing up. So talking like pre 6 o'clock or 6 o'clock.
Maybe.
Because around that time, somewhere between 6 and 7 is starting the most likelihood of when everyone would show up. But
yeah,
for some reason, at least the twins seem to not show up as early on the weekend.
Yeah. I don't know. I'll see when I get on.
Okay.
I kind of want to do RimWorld. Gonna be honest with you.
But I want to throw enough stuff at you in a positive way to get you something substantial that will hopefully limit the amount of I've lost half of everything and I'm slightly progressed. I want to get you something substantial so that when we do something, we're either detracting from what you have and you have to fix and repair, or we're adding to what you have. You have the ability to combat us.
Right.
I want to see that dynamic.
With the Rim thing, you've been doing a lot of polls which allow you to get basically anything you want.
Yep.
Yeah, instead of the okay, we you getting the points gradually and getting a few things. It's no, let's send 20 meteors at him.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just curious what it'll do to the economy, or how it will help or
Yeah.
not hurt, or will hurt.
But
It's
yeah, if I
interesting.
yeah,
Well, like how
I've
I said
analyzed that clip
the
that you.
impact of shit. It's curious.
I analyzed the
But
clip that where you sent in the thing, and it landed on top of the
to your house? Oh, that?
yeah.
Yeah.
It land.
Okay.
Let me find it. It landed next to the uh, anti-grain warhead, which is basically a nuke. There.
Oh,
It.
so it had a war.
Yeah, yeah, the lady there. Oh wait, did she? She had just woken up from her coma that she was in because she was in such a poor mood. She had woken up.
Oh, that makes me feel a little bit better. Oh God!
No, I don't even think she didn't even have that. She
You're telling me the anti-grain nuke
Oh wait,
worked for.
no. She had opened a door, then heard the anti-grain warhead start to hiss, started to run away.
She said,
It
"Fuck!"
yeah.
And then it was over.
And then it exploded, and oh, that took that took things with it. And then it blew up uh, the chem fuel after, which set everything on fire and burned her body. There might have been a chance to beg you to get resurrection mech serum, maybe, which
A thing.
would have been a yeah. It's a thing that if you have a corpse that isn't just dry bones, you can use it on the corpse and they'll come back depending on
Okay,
and
yeah.
depending on
I
how
think you should
damaged
have,
the
like, 10
body
of those
is.
fuckers.
Depending
Just
on
because we're screwing with this shit. And like that, I don't know why it went into your house. Unless it
yeah.
decided that's terrain and didn't care, or it doesn't have that feature applied.
Yeah. But,
I don't know
yeah,
why.
but there's serum that you can use on a corpse that will bring it back, but depending on how badly it's damaged, they'll get a debuff to, like their skills, and I think it's skills depending on how long they've been dead, and if they're damaged enough, they'll get, like cataracts or a bad back or something like that. They'll develop a malady.
Chronic problem.
Yeah.
So remember to go to twitch.admin for the donuts for live for the streams.
Yeah.
Vote for badness and make him pull his hair out.
Yeah. Oh, it blew
Trying
up
to
the
make it-
the glucoidal pump that crippling got me.
Excuse me.
The
The glucose
hemogenic pump, not glucose.
Glucoidal. I wouldn't recommend
Well,
gluing coidal. Coidally gluing. That sounds bad. I'd recommend lubricant instead.
yeah.
Should
I
work
didn't
better.
make the colony in thought of I'd be fighting chat. I made it in the thing of I'll have crippling decide what I make the colony as because it'll be funny or something or interesting.
Fighting chat now.
Yeah, I am fighting chat now. If everything got nuked to oblivion, I wouldn't be. I could start another one with more resilient people, maybe.
More resilient people. Well, if you've got genetic stuff, the question is how can we get to that point of stabilization,
Uh,
or is it not feasible?
well, I mean, in RimWorld, for the basics, you need food.
I
You
need
need
the
food and
perfect.
decent living expenses or
I
living
need the
quarters.
perfect pawn. Perfection. Yes. I've listened to that video 3 times.
Hmm. I should
Um,
watch that again. Very funny.
it's
It
very funny.
I can
Very
relate
well
to it.
written.
I can relate to him.
Tyson Stallone.
Tyson Stallone.
So
It's Tyann Sylvester. Is the guy? It's the actual one. I'm looking at it. RimWorld, a story generated by Tynan Sylvester.
Tyson Stallone didn't want me to have perfection, but he wants me to chase it. He wants me to see it, so I can't have it. No, I will not stand.
They think you can't get a perfect pawn, but it's just a fishing game.
Been here for 47 hours. I've seen it once. We went past it. We know it's real.
Yeah, the pain of.
So,
Oh, there was a
so
good
the real question is it worth re-rolling, and or can we adapt and handle it from that perspective? Because I haven't played it once.
Okay. Yeah.
Closest thing to playing it
Yeah.
is me watching you and right now integrating with it.
Resurrector Mech Serum is 1,700 coins.
That's it?
Yeah.
I could easily be giving you one of those every like 20 minutes.
Yeah, that'd be
Just the cash. I mean, I could also vote in fucking 4 of them.
Yeah.
Or something reasonable.
Oh wait, let me look. Connect. War casket.
Cascade.
You can get the okay. You can get the weapons. Those can be voted in. Although I don't have a war casket, so that's.
Yeah, no, I got you a war casket something before, and you're like, "That's neat." I'm like, "No one can hold it."
Exactly. It's for them. It's a knife. For everyone else, it's a bastard sword.
Yeah, or for them it's a knife, and for everybody else it's fucking Berserk's hunk of steel. End
Well,
quote.
there is the what is it? The war casket gravity hammer. It is described as an engine block on a stick.
Very good.
So yeah, once I get things will be easier once I get a war casket because then I can just throw him at the enemy. I want the one war casket that in a hilarious animation he can like a drop pod can launch and land in a different thing, but like his engines turn on his back and he just slowly starts to rise up into the air.
Is it like the guy who does the power jump, or is it different?
It's different. It's like the power jump, except more like a rocket flying into low orbit and then coming down on somebody's house.
So he he halo jumps after propelling himself up.
Yeah.
I am the projectile.
I think it's kind of like in the one Iron Man movie where they have the big guy and he flies.
He does fly.
Very slowly, but he does fly.
Yes, and then the acceleration's a bitch for him.
Yeah. That's kind of what it looks like, because these are huge, impenetrable, welded, closed suits of power armor.
Yeah. This is a tank with a person in it. It's a bipedal tank.
Hmm.
It is more of a fixture than it is an armor.
Huh. So
Uh-huh.
I was looking at the realistic human sounds mod, and there's the
Oh.
option for vanilla, anime, vanilla alternate.
Realistic, you say?
Well, you see, instead of just going down, people scream in agony and pain.
Realistic, you say?
Yes.
The anime version.
Should I turn that on?
Realistic, you say?
I'll set it to anime and I'll get. I'll
You'll
make
get
crippling
shut
revulse
down.
when he hears it because he hates anime.
It's funny.
He goes, ew.
Kill it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh, I should.
I,
Oh,
I think the thing he revolts up. Well, it's the stereotype, and both for the men and the women for anime sounds are not anywhere close to my preferred anything.
Hmm.
It is so overdone. But
Yeah.
I don't know, it's also weird and cringy. And I can hear it in my head. I just don't care to give an example, and I'm not sure I can do it, and I don't want to because I think I'll probably just throw up.
Yeah. There is
I
a
don't
little bit
like.
of
I
anime
don't
gets
like the
too
way
anime.
those Easterners speak. Let me tell you, on TV, no.
Yeah. Well, them Orientals.
I've
My dad
heard
gets
the phrasing.
my dad doesn't understand why it's called Asia now and not the Orient. Because you got the Orient and then you got the not Orient.
Well, you see, the Orient are the Homo sapiens, and then the Westerners are the Neanderthals.
Oh. So anyway, I also got some mods that add
I don't know.
animals.
They call that a callback. It's a joke.
Yeah, it's very funny.
It's very, very funny.
Funny. All right, let's.
So funny.
Funny. Let's see what.
Explain to your dad that people change the name of things because they feel different, and although that practically may mean nothing, sometimes it's also just a renaming scheme that actually makes more sense in a technical way, but it means nothing to you and I.
Like
the attempt to shed the negative connotations with old words by making new ones. Don't worry, we'll add those connotations later.
Yeah.
And you'll have to change it again. Get fucked. Political correctness will.
That reminds me.
Lose. That's why it has to adapt and move forward.
Apparently, the Aztec Empire never called themselves the Aztecs. They called themselves like the Mexicans. Aztec only came about when scholars got tired of talking about, okay, we have the modern day Mexico and we have the ancient Mexico. I don't want to keep referring to it as ancient and modern. Why don't we just call it something else, like Aztec or something?
But that's an it's a Native American tribe. Where do they live?
I don't know.
No, they live in the upper Hudson River in New York. So, no, that's AI. Let's not read that.
Yeah.
I'll listen to them in 5 years, maybe.
Yeah.
Right now, no. See, everyone complained about Wiki because people can edit it. Now I have AI pulling from whatever source they feel like, and we're in the day and age of over information, or over misinformation, where they're like, the real story's out there. We're going to make 10 fake stories and make sure that they stay up on the internet and circulate so it's not certain as to which one is real. At least in terms of like government information tactics, that is a common one these days. Back in the day, you just wouldn't tell nobody shit. But now we got to have 5 different, 10 different, 15 different stories to make sure that no one's for sure. That way it either can't be concretely taught or that a good portion of the people will just simply be wrong. And then it becomes a gamble. See whether it's right or not. If the other countries want to base off of it. But hold on. Eastern Alquogan. I can't say those words. Where are Missouri? Oh shoot! What's abbreviated MA? Is that Massachusetts?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or is it Missouri?
Yeah, so Missouri.
West Virginia.
So yeah. Do you have a spelling of the word?
No.
Oh wow!
I saw
the
it on a
pronunciation
short.
of that word is crazy. Mohekunu. You telling me they fuck with the N and the S and do a French kind of behavior? What is this? Do we concretely believe that the most of the Native Americans came from China or from the Orient?
I think so.
Yeah. Supposed I've been told that that's why the gold rush didn't actually rush that hard. It's because a lot of it's already fucking gone.
Yeah.
That's why panning for gold is most popular, because the big chunks have been removed that were easily accessible.
Yeah. Somebody walks in the riverbed. Oh, look, a chunk of gold. Neat.
More! There's got to be more! And they didn't find more. Why? It's already been taken.
Yeah.
China had a fuck ton of it.
Well,
and then the fuckers that said, I ain't going back, fuck that China shit, and then decided to stay. Or
I think the land bridge sank into the ocean.
I mean, that's to say. So either it'd have to be a catastrophic event, or motherfuckers weren't informed, which is certainly possible, because the logistics of humans today still baffles me as how absolutely incapable they are. But they also just might say, fuck that. I'm gonna live here. I've got a setup. I'm here. I've got this figured out. Me and my wife moved here. We've been here for 8 years. I'm just gonna stay. Or, nah, you're making your mind. You're crazy. That bridge isn't getting narrower. It'll be fine. Oh, never mind.
Yeah.
So yeah. Whatever which way. I'm sure somebody said, I'm not going back. Surely somebody did. Yeah. Because it's the new world. In a way, it's the new world, new place to go.
I think I saw something that a few might have went back, but then not all of them, and then they just, well, we're here now.
Yep. Oh, it's interesting. What's it called? It's roaming. It's living but roaming intentionally. Why am I forgetting the word?
I could have told you if you didn't ask me.
But now that I said those words, you're lined up from a different perspective and you can't pull the word out of your head.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. Okay. Good. It's not just me.
Not scavenger. It's
not hunter-gatherer. It's not intermittent fasting.
It's
it's not congressional. It's
just like it's getting harder.
It's a bunch of
Neolithic.
This is a fun little neurological game that must happen to more people than just you and I then.
Yeah.
Shit. Because sometimes I try to explain things with, you know what?
They travel. They just move. It's
why can't we pull?
I could have told you. I had it. It was like in my mind. And then you said something. I was like, oh, wait, what?
Yeah, and then you linked it up from a different perspective. Like entering a building from a different direction you've never come in before. And now you're realigned to what the front of the building is, and it feels weird. Especially, and this happened recently at work, if they've painted a room or two, and you walk in from a different angle, you're like, holy fuck, everything's flipped, and I don't know where I am. It's worse for me because a lot of the buildings are designed the same, but flipped or slightly different. So each one feels a little different.
Yeah, okay. I'm taking off my sweatshirt so I can think.
Nomadic! Wait, did he take his headphones? Oh, yeah. He just said he took his headphones off.
I take my headphones off because
I screamed the word.
Oh, what is
right after you did it. Nomadic.
Nomadic. I know it started with an N or an M.
Why, it's hydromatic. Why, it's greased lightning. It's greased lightning.
Of course you did when I took my paper test. I'm so mad
anyway.
that I'm gonna end it here.
Attic.
That's the end of the episode, right? We're this is the end of the
No,
episode now.
no, you love Grease. Stop, no.
Oh yeah, Grease. I have seen Grease.
It's your favorite.
You are the one that I want. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
You should definitely act now. Welcome to the after show.
Welcome to the after. Oh wait, what do we say at the end of the show? We haven't actually recorded a good one in 7 months.
Yeah, that's what we say every time.
Yeah, welcome to the after show. Okay. Drink
I don't
water, be
remember
safe, happy, healthy. Bye.
No, that's your YouTube thing.
That's my everything thing.
Oh, it's your everything thing?
I
Okay.
guess. Yeah.
Be practical, be moral. Anyway, have fun.
Bye.